Hi guys, welcome to another video of Shut and Rajesh. So today we are in a different setting than the studio that you have seen. We are actually in Dubai shooting the car video. We have a surprise car video planned for you, and also doing fun videos on the Apple Watch Ultra and the new iPhone 14 Pro Max. So before going any further, today we have the new Apple Watch Ultra. Let's first see what's inside the box because this is a completely new product from Apple. So let's first check out the box, then we'll move on to the impressions of the product. This is not a full review because I got the product yesterday. Mind you, there is crazy shortage of stock in the market for at least the Apple Watch Ultra in India, in Dubai, everywhere. You have to reserve it. We were in line from 7:30 a.m. in the morning for the Dubai Mall Apple store, and once the store opened, they told us that you need to reserve the product, and then we will call you maybe tomorrow, maybe today in the evening, but not right now. You won't be able to just walk into a store and get an Apple Watch Ultra. As far as I know, same thing is in India also. So be very sure that how you are going to buy this. I ordered it online from the Apple store and I got it on 23rd only. I had ordered it on 7th September when Apple announced the product. So now let's jump into the video and let's see what the box has, because this is a new unboxing experience for us. So after much awaiting, we finally have the Apple Watch. It was weird that Apple had the launch date different for the watch and for the iPhone. So before going any further, let's first see what all we get in the box, and then we'll move to the impressions and initial review of the product. So now let me quickly remove this. The box texture is definitely different than what you get on the normal Apple Watch. It's more on the matty side, but I am a tech reviewer, not a box reviewer, so I guess I'll move along. That's how it opens, almost similar to an Apple Watch. That's the outer packing. They have definitely changed it. And there are, let me lift these three things out. So here we have mountain, different terrains on the box inside. So this is new for me, first time I'm seeing. This is the watch, all the three bands, everything else with this, and details about the watch. This is also new, and this opens up weirdly because I got this in UAE. Nothing useful, but yeah, definitely a different experience than what we are used to. So here is the band. This is the Alpine color band. I am forgetting the name of this. This is the G-hook closure band, titanium G-hook closure, Alpine loop. Let me quickly open this. Apple has continued with their minimal packing design. You get pull tabs, easy pull tabs to open, and again how to put it on the watch. I think they have done these things and added more information for the watches because, you know, they're expecting a lot of new customers for these, so they don't want them to be unaware about how to use the watch. So here is the band. The whole experience is definitely different than a general Apple Watch. Feels good in hand. This one also makes it very secure at place. I'll show you all this in detail. Let me quickly remove this. You get a paperwork inside. So now it's turn for the Apple Watch Ultra. They have made this a little protruding thing on the box. Again different, although I think it's available on the normal watches too. Nice and simple pull tabs, as usual in Apple affair. And let me quickly remove them and try to show you. Yeah, so here we have the Apple Watch Ultra finally. This is the documents designed by Apple in California, and they have written latitude and longitude, which is first time I'm seeing because I think it has dual GPS. So for that, here you get a braided Apple Watch charger. I don't use these chargers, but yeah, it's braided, so I think it's good. It is also the fast charger, so it charges your watch comparatively quickly. Put it back, and finally we have the Watch Ultra. Okay, this is definitely heavy, but not as heavy as it looks out of the box. Let me quickly remove the outer packaging. Okay, and here we have the watch. So it definitely feels a little bit heavy, but I think not too heavy. I'll show you on the wrist also. Yep, definitely looks like a Ben 10 watch. So let's now move to the impressions and what I think about this watch and who this watch actually is for. So when Apple announced the Apple Watch Ultra, I'm wearing it right now, it actually looks bigger in the photos as compared to in the real life. And before going ahead, I'd like to specifically point that this is a very light watch. I mean, it's not as light as the Series 8 or other watches, but when I compare it to the Samsung Watch 5 Pro, it's very light. That watch used to feel a lot chunkier on my hand, despite this being a lot thicker for the sides and the battery, etc. But it still manages to not look odd. The issue is that the shape of this watch is not a conventional watch, so we are not kind of trained to see this in the size that it is meant to be or the way this Apple made. Because when you see a round watch, no matter if it's a bigger one or a smaller one, you will identify it as that it's a watch. But this is a new form factor that Apple announced. With this watch, actually they removed the curved screen also from this to give it a protection from random crashes. When you're walking, you sometimes scuff your watch, so for all that protection they have added removed the curved screen. So design wise, I think this looks good on hand. It's not for smaller hand. It'll look odd on that, people who have thin wrist, and for those people it'll look way out of the line and it just won't fit, it won't look good. Now for someone like me who has bigger hand, who has bigger wrist, for me I think it looks pretty okay. I'm still getting used to the bigger size, the bigger display that we get, but overall the initial impressions has been good. Now moving on to the second part is the pricing of this, because that's a huge deal. So in Dubai it costs around 70,000 rupees. In India it costs around 90,000 rupees. There is only one model right now with 3 variations in band, but the color for the body and everything is same. Like the watch only comes in one color, one configuration. It is a cellular plus GPS only watch, so that's something that they are giving by default to you when you are paying this much money. Is it worth the price? Honestly, when you go to the features of this watch, like it can be a dive computer, it can be a lot of things, so I think it kind of justifies its price. I have never said this about the Apple Watch, but this I think will justify, because it's targeted towards those pro and those pro athletes who buy Garmin watches. Like I was looking at a Garmin watch, it was around 1,90,000 rupees, I think the Felix 7 or something like that. So that way I think this is not a bad priced watch. And Apple, actually I was expecting them to price it around 999, which will be somewhere around 1 lakh rupees plus, but they priced it around 90,000 in India. Still a lot for a watch, but when you consider the niche that they are targeting, it's priced very reasonably. So now let's talk about what's new with the design first. So as I mentioned earlier, also Apple removed the side curve and made it all square. They added a side lip also to protect the digital crown, and the digital crown is huge. They also added the power button on top of that raised lip. It kind of protects the watch from side scuffs and all those things. On the left side, it has a international orange colored action button. So what this action button does is you can map it to, I think, 5 or 6 things that Apple has provided, and then you can use it accordingly. Like when you want to start a workout, when you want to put waypoints when you are driving somewhere in a remote location or something of that sort. So overall, that way I think the action button, I'm not sure that I'm going to use it a lot, because pretty much I do everything on the watch is not very interactive with the watch. But I am hoping that this will be a good feature overall for a lot of people. Second thing they have added is that they have increased the size of the speaker grill, because this has better speaker and actually 2 microphone array, which will be easier for you to talk to people when you are in a noisy environment, when you are trekking or when there's wind noise. So Apple has designed this with keeping in mind the need of the athletes, the people who do triathlons, people who are divers and all of that. Now, as I was telling, there are 3 types in this watch, like 3 editions. One is the one that I'm currently wearing. This is called the Alpine. The color is called the Alpine Loop Band. The hook, actually, when I saw on stage they announcing, I found it stupid, but after using it, it's pretty good actually. It makes the watch fit very snugly, and I didn't have any issues with it whatsoever. Oh, also, by the way, I want to add this point. You can use 45 millimeter bands that you have, the older Apple Watch 45 millimeter bands, with this one without any issue. So Apple made it backtrack compatible. That's a good thing. Now the second design that it comes in, the second band style that it comes in, is a diver focused watch. I will attach the photos for it, and you will be able to see how it will help you while you are diving, and how it will help you to kind of access the watch while you're diving, and the belt also will be snugly fit. The third is for the endurance training people, who that's basically a closed loop band. That is also, that was my first preference, but while ordering on 7th, everything went out of stock, and to bring these videos to guys on time, I have to get these products as early as possible. So that was one of the reasons why I went with this. But I actually don't regret buying this one, because this is the first time an Apple Watch has like completely stayed on my wrist without me moving my hand, and a lot of things that I do, it feels very snug. By the way, I was reading a Twitter user's comment that the bottom of this Alpine loop is actually scuffing the MacBooks while you're typing and using, so be careful with that. This has dual GPS, which basically means that it will be able to help you a lot better when you are in remote conditions, or when there is an issue with the GPS satellite and all that. They added these feature in the iPhone 14 Pro Max too. It's kind of similar. So that way I think it's better for people who go trekking, who go in mountains, and you can add waypoints, like back waypoints when you are going, because it's like sometimes you can't remember a way when you are in a jungle, so that way it will be very helpful actually. The second thing is crash detection as usual. Actually, one YouTuber tested out the crash detection on the iPhone, and it works. It really works. But on this one also it comes same thing, same way it works on the Series 8 and the iPhone 14 series. So that's same. There's no change in that. The action button also changes to a beeping sound, which is basically an 86 decibel sound that your watch will make to, you know, make yourself visible to people in remote locations. Like let's say if you're in a forest and people can't find you, then you can make that sound. I don't know how useful it's going to be, because I'm not someone who goes into forest a lot, so I think we will have to see down the line how it goes. So when you keep holding the action button, a menu opens. Here is a Siren slider on top. When you slide it, as you can hear, it vibrates and produces this sound. I don't know how useful it's going to be, but let's see down the line how useful it's going to be. I will not be able to tell you about the battery life as of yet, because I have not used the watch properly for that long duration. But I have heard that the battery life on this thing is good. One good thing Apple focused for astronomers or people who go a lot in night is that they have added a night mode kind of for the dial that I'm using. And what it does is when you slide the digital crown, it actually changes it to watch face that will be visible in extreme night light, and you'll be able to clearly see everything, every detail. So that's also a good thing that Apple added. And overall, they have thought a lot about adding these small features and on this watch. I wish they would have named it the Apple Watch Pro, would have synced a lot, but I think LG has the trademark for that. So they are using the Apple Watch Ultra. So this also turns as a dive computer. I think the app Oceanic something app is coming out later this year. But right now it has the feature where it can measure how deep you are going. It can measure a lot of things actually. Later on they are planning to integrate it with more sensors on your scuba gear, and then you can see the air mixture and all those things. So it's rated for scuba diving and all that things for 40 meter, and it can also sustain 100 meters down the ocean, but they have not tested it because I think you require special gear once you go below the 40 meter threshold. Rest, it comes with every other feature that you have seen in the Apple Watch 8. It has cycle tracking, it has the difference temperature sensor, all those basic features of Series 8. So overall, in my experience, at least in my initial impressions, this is not a watch for everyone, because first, it's a huge watch. Second, it's very costly. I mean, 90,000 rupees for a watch is still a lot of money. So Apple is targeting here the Garmin's of the world and all those watches. The battery life, as they claim, is 3 days, which is still not much because Garmin's have 7 days battery life, 10 days battery life. But I think overall Apple is moving in the right direction with the price they have offered for the pro athletes, not for general people by any chance. Go into the store, check out the watch, try for yourself whether the size suits you how you want, or overall how you like the watch, and see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. Let me know down in the comments below whether you like the watch or you want the more practical Series 8. Thank you.